Welcome to New Sky TV, it's explosive. Guo Yuxin and Liu Yuhang's secret crush has come true. The sweetness level is off the charts. This isn't just love at first sight, it's been planned for a long time. He remembers the bottle of mineral water Guo Yuxin handed him at the sport meet 6 years ago. If love has a trailer, then this reunion is the first second of the full movie. When Guo Yuxin hung up her agent's call and pushed open the door to Time Folds, she thought she was just there to discuss the script, but she didn't expect to walk into a confession meticulously rehearsed for 6 years. The moment the wind chimes rang, she saw his profile as he bent over writing, a light gray knit sweater, long, slender fingers, and clean, sharp features. It was the back view she had secretly watched countless times in the university library. And he had never forgotten. 6 years ago at the sport meet, the scorching sun beat down on the field. Guo Yuxin, wearing a white t-shirt, was panting after finishing the relay race, but still handed him the last bottle of mineral water on the sidelines. At that time, Liu Yuhang didn't take it, but just smiled and said, "You drink it." He remembered the sweat on her forehead, the sheen in her hair, and the dent she'd left on the water bottle. Some say love at first sight is just hormones, but Liu Yuhang didn't believe it. He believed in long-term unrequited love. It wasn't that he didn't have opportunities to confess. At 16, he won the national model competition. At 192 centimeters, he was a natural clothes hanger, the center of attention wherever he went. But he chose silence. He knew her family wasn't well off, that she worked 3 jobs while attending school to pay for her grandmother's medical expenses, and that she was so proud that even accepting help felt like a burden. So he approached her in a different way. 6 years later, he became a rising screenwriter, while she was a rising actress. No one knew that the script for Evening Breeze at the End of the Alley was a love letter he wrote for her. The girl who was so poor she couldn't even afford to turn on a light bulb but pretended to be his girlfriend. All the stubbornness and tenderness in her lines were details he had secretly observed back then. No one knew that he turned down high-priced offers from 3 platforms just to make sure the project landed in her hands, waiting for her schedule to open up. Liu Yuhang is a difficult person to define. To the outside world, he's a model champion, a naturally handsome man, and exudes the elite aura of a 200,000 RMB watch. But the real him would wear a faded denim jacket on set, helping the lighting technician adjust angles, and revising lines late into the night, simply because she once said, the emotions weren't real enough. What he laid out was never a domineering CEO-style pursuit, but a gentle net. He gave her choices, but had already paved the way for her escape. He didn't force her to respond, but stood there for her every moment she might turn back. The most explosive moment was during the audition. When Guo Yuxin read the line, "If you like someone for 6 years, is it too late?" She suddenly looked up. Liu Yuhang was looking at her, his eyes quiet yet burning. At that moment, she felt as if she had been struck by time. The afternoon in the library 6 years ago, the sport field at the sport meet, the lights in the study room late at night, all overlapped. She finally understood that this wasn't a reunion. It was a reunion. It was the patience to turn unrequited love into reality, the steadfastness to perpetuate youthful infatuation into adulthood. What truly moved her wasn't that he remembered the bottle of water, but that he remembered all her moments of vulnerability and pride, yet never exposed her. Later, after the coffee shop closed, they walked side by side in the night. The streetlights cast long shadows, and he suddenly whispered, "That year when you handed me the water, I really wanted to take it." She smiled and replied, "It's not too late to take it now." Sweet beyond measure, yet not cloying at all. Because this wasn't a coincidence of fate, but a young man who had written 6 years into the sequel to her life. He remembered the bottle of mineral water Guo Yuxin handed him at the sport meet 6 years ago, while he drank tap water. He checked her class schedule, calculated her part-time work hours, and even transferred the milk tea shop his family had invested into his own name, just to be in the same class as her. This kind of calculation is chilling at first glance, until the camera zooms out in full. When he helps her change a blown light bulb with his bare hands, he casually unscrews the miniature camera hidden in the base. He has surveillance footage on his phone of a drunkard kicking down the door the previous night, and the next day he quietly rents the room next door to replace his bodyguard. Guo Yuxin's poverty is the kind that can make your nose sting with tears. Her grandmother's hospital bills are 30,000 yuan in debt, and she even worries about the money for donating platelets. So when Liu Yuhang handed her the contractual relationship contract, with a daily wage of 500 yuan, 50,000 yuan for 3 months, and a scholarship and recommendation letter included, she put the contract under her pillow that night, afraid that she would change her mind in the middle of the night. This is not a relationship, it's a lifeline. Anyone who has been poor understands that self-esteem is as fragile as a dried face mask in the face of survival. But what truly broke the audience's resolve was the warehouse scene. The supplier and his men vandalized the store, and Liu Yuhang pushed Guo Yuxin into the storage room, shielding her with his own body. A bottle smashed against his shoulder, shards of glass pierced his collarbone, and blood soaked his white t-shirt. Guo Yuxin rushed out, her hands trembling more like she was crying than crying, yet she gripped a fruit knife tightly. Liu Yuhang actually laughed, using the pain as an excuse to pour out his heart. "You can dislike me, but don't compare me to anyone else. I don't want anything wholesale." When a proud person bows their head, it's not admitting defeat, but offering their sincerity. Whether you accept it or not is up to you. On the day the contract expired, Guo Yuxin returned 50,000 yuan to him, with an extra 1,200 yuan being the interest earned on the cash. She felt they were even, but Liu Yuhang didn't take the money, only handing her a settled surgery payment slip for her grandmother. Guo Yuxin cried until she vomited at the stairwell. The poor fear owing favors most. If they can't repay, they can only run away. Liu Yuhang went even further, turning himself into a favor, making it something she could never repay in her lifetime. This drama didn't follow the usual kissing scenes. On the night of her grandmother's surgery, Guo Yuxin huddled in the corridor, hugging her knees, waiting. Liu Yuhang bought her favorite red bean cakes, but she didn't eat a bite because they were cold. When dawn broke and the doctor announced successful surgery, she took his hand for the first time. The camera lingered on their intertwined fingers. There were no lines, but the audience could hear the unspoken message. The most paradoxical aspect of love is that it begins with pretending and ends with genuine repayment. Introducing Growth Incentive Program for Text and Image Authors. In reality, Guo Yuxin and Liu Yuhang's partnership is hailed by viewers as the ceiling of short dramas. Standing at 165 centimeters and 192 centimeters respectively, their adorable height difference creates a sweet and endearing dynamic, with scenes of them playfully slamming each other against a wall and patting each other's heads. But the sweetness is merely the surface. The core lies in the precise collision of their acting skills. Liu Yuhang brought the bad boy but gentle male lead to life, while Guo Yuxin perfectly portrayed the cold on the outside but soft on the inside female lead. A scene in the rain, where their eyes met, caused a frenzy in the online comments. From a minor role as a young soldier in Princess Agents to a top star in the short drama field, Liu Yuhang's transformation is no accident. He participated in big-budget productions like Tang Dynasty Ghost Stories, Journey to the West and When the Wild Geese Return, but his roles were so small that viewers couldn't even remember his face. It wasn't until he fully committed to short dramas, starring in several works such as A Bite to Fall in Love, Step by Step, and Drunken Pair, that he truly found his niche. His clean-cut face and safeguard-like demeanor make him an easy target for attention in the short drama circle. Guo Yuxin also went through a period of playing minor roles. After graduating from the Central Academy of Drama, she played maids and fairy maids in hit dramas such as A Thought Through the Mountains, The Story of Cheng Huan, and The Long Moon Shines Brightly. Although her looks were recognized, she was always a supporting actress. In the Chinese entertainment industry, it's either based on seniority or having connections to get into a production. Without resources, you can only play minor roles. After switching to short dramas, she directly rose to the position of leading actress, starring in more than 20 short dramas, and was hailed by the audience as the ceiling of beauty for short drama leading ladies. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.